What's up, everybody? We are live and alive. Here we are. Hope you're all having a fantastic Friday. We are rocking out, having a good old time. We were just blasting music in here before we went live. I am one cup of coffee deep. You can tell by my very luscious, puffy eyes this morning that my allergies are doing great. But I am here for the people, man of the people. Spencer's here. He's feeling good. We're ready to rock and roll. We did do another unlock of the fluorescent set. We are trying to figure out the best way to do a demonstration with those paints, but obviously if people have questions about the fluorescent set, feel free to drop them in the chat arena. We have used them quite frequently, so we should be able to, look, we have things moving over here, there's a ghost. We should be able to answer any questions that you have. Beyond that, today's plan is we had the contrast style application video yesterday, and then today I'm just going to paint how I normally do to just show sort of the difference between the two. So I'm probably going to do a fall theme on the other side of the forest or the wood dragon. So the leaves will be a different color and all that jazz. That was a great suggestion by Ariel, who works here. So we will be doing that. But yeah, I hope you guys have had a great week. We are super excited about the Kickstarter. Everybody is in a great mood, high spirits, all that jazz. Woo! So if you have any questions, feel free to throw them. Otherwise, shout out to all the legends in the chat, everybody that's already backed, and we can get started. So give me that top down. Hit me with that top down. Boom, there we are. Look at this chunker right here, okay? So yesterday, as you guys know, he was primed pure white. I went back and added a little bit of that zenithal action so that I can kind of show you how I get down. Spencer and I normally paint, and you can get a better idea about that. And then here's this side that we painted with all contrast application washes, meaning just a bunch of water mixed with our paint. Nothing crazy. You know the deal. But it looks really good. Like I said, we were going to throw a little bit of varnish on it so that way it doesn't reflect under our extremely bright lights here that are slowly making me go blind. So I will start on this side. Like I said, we're going to try and do like a fall theme on this side. So it'll be a little bit different in terms of color choices. But you can just see how we normally get down with these paints. So we always start from a zenithal application whenever we're working, and that's pretty much it. Nothing revolutionary. I'm going to start off with our red brown, my number one color. Oh, look at that, the little necklace came off from the paint line. This is my favorite color, and that is how we will rock and roll. Do we have any action in the chat? I know we just jumped straight to it.
We've got Carl in chat. We've got Haley Staley in the chat.
Carl's in the chat. Haley Staley in the chat. What's up?
We got Scrumbly Dumpus.
Scrumbly Dumpus himself. Man, we have some true legends hanging out with us this morning. It is what a time to be alive. All my friends are here. Truly, truly awesome time.
Haley wants to know when the fluorescence will be shown in action. Tough question.
Tough question. So yeah, at the beginning of the stream, I was saying we're figuring out the best way to do that. Just because they don't show up, like we would have to adjust our camera to get it to show up correctly, or we can do photos. So one or the other. The fluorescent paints are meant to go directly on top of white when you're painting with them. They are not very opaque unless you apply a ton of it, but that also then kills the fluorescent effect because of the pigment that we use. So we just kind of have to figure out a good way to do it. Maybe doing like an airbrush video over the shoulder or something will give you guys a better idea. I just don't think it's something that we can do live. It's just a little bit too tricky. So hopefully that answers your question. But we are excited. They're really sick. Actually, the Reuben bust that I was working on has fluorescent eyes. I went through and added the fluorescent pink and it looks insane. So even he is getting in on some of the fluorescent action. Right now, I'm using that same 1-to-1 ratio that we used for all of the contrast application previously. In the last video, I had sort of mentioned that I always use that in my base coating in general. Like that's just always what we go for. I always aim for a mid-tone. So the color I'm applying now isn't really the darkest color that's going to be involved here today. It's not the brightest color that's going to be involved here today. I always aim for the middle so that way I can sculpt my way and move back and forth to adjust paint jobs accordingly. So that's what I'm doing right now. But that's it. That's all I have to say. That's, you got me. You got me explaining everything here, so.
We had a question from Monley who said, will the skin colors and fluorescent paint ship with the core colors? Or
yeah.
Is that something?
Nope, they all ship at the same time. So Everything should ship still in the same flat rate boxes that we're estimating for shipping, so not a big deal. I know some people were confused too. They are add-ons, so they're not included for free or anything like that. They also are not a part of the essential line, if that makes sense. These are just completely different products that exist that will sell separately at some point. Good question, though. Good question. Yeah, I liked the skin line. I mean, the all of the colors so far that we've mixed in terms of like the skin tones and stuff come directly from the essential line. But it's just nice to have them pre-mixed for you, right? If you're not really trying to do that all the time. So that's kind of the direction that we went. But yeah, the skin tone having the color theory mixed in as well is really, really cool. Isn't that right, Spencer?
It's so cool.
I don't know if I liked that answer
It's
from
the
him.
coolest.
Okay, I definitely didn't like that answer
What?
from him. So
Hey,
you can tell he's gone off his oatmeal this morning. He's just
dude, I'm properly nutriented.
he's very very aggressive.
Aggressively friendly.
Very aggressively friendly this morning. I don't know if I trust it.
Well, the question.
Okay.
Why did we choose not to do a blue fluorescent?
Why did we choose not to do a blue fluorescent? Well, that was just sort of a pigment selection in terms of our manufacturer. We did try, and I didn't like it. So so there's your answer. It wasn't good. Rather than not be able to offer the set, obviously we will always most probably likely do multiple sets. So like the skin tone set has, in terms of what we've planned for like releases, the skin tone set or the skin tone offering in general is probably going to be about 12 or so paints, maybe a little bit less, maybe a little bit more, because of the color temperature selection. So as with that, the fluorescent set will probably also have an accompanying release at some point in the future where we can refine those pigments and get them the way we wanted. But yeah, we had them test quite a few, and the blue just wasn't doing it for me. And I'm like, this isn't any good, but I like all of these, and so that's why that set exists. I would rather them be perfect up to my standard than just, not give you something good. So.
Do we know the price of individual bottles once they hit retail?
I do, but I'm not going to say them purely because stuff like that has a tendency to change without me being told. So I have been told once, but I don't know if it's going to stay the same. So I don't want to say anything now and be wrong in the future. So unfortunately, sorry. But you can pretty much guess what it will be close to by dividing the entire essential box at its current price per bottle, and then just add some more on top, and you'll have a rough estimate of what to expect per bottle, because you're obviously saving money by backing on the Kickstarter now. So
I'm not good at math.
You're not good at math?
I'm not good at math.
It's okay.
I think it's because I didn't apply myself, though.
As with most things in life, it also has to do with the teacher. So
I think it was me.
You think it was you?
I think I just didn't put the hard time and effort into it. I think math is all about, like, you gotta respect the numbers.
You have to respect the or what? What do they do? Like, because 7, 8, 9 type stuff, or?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay, I get it. I think. Look, I went to college for fine art, so when they told me all you have to do is take college algebra, I said, that sounds great, because I already took that in high school. So.
Wait, so you like double dipped?
I double dipped. I was like, I already know all the answers, dude.
You already knew all your Pythagorean theorems?
Dude, Pythagoras was my best friend, okay?
Cool.
Cool. Oh, it's great. But yeah. You can see I'm just tapering into the colors to make it look like a really lazy attempt at a change in the season, so.
How would you paint a skeleton with our paint range? What do you think your strat would be?
My strat for a skeleton would be prime it pure white, hit it with a heavy wash of our just straight up tan, probably going there with a little bit of that orange zero, probably going with a little bit of that green too, and kind of sauce it up a bit. After that, I probably hit it from below, a little bit of that airbrush with deep brown, and then just having fun with the warm white, doing traditional highlights. And then after the warm white is dry, I would do little specular highlights with the cool white because it'll create contrast on top. And next thing you know, Bob's your uncle. So that's what I would do. I think it would work pretty well. But there we go. So I have my base coat done on our fall leaf change. So I may go back and kind of mess around a little bit more on the like in between parts, but
so the skin tones and fluorescence are technically not the complete set, but only the beginning. I like that.
So yeah, in general, like it's a complete set for what it is, but we're not trying to expand the line. Like we don't want to suddenly have like 400 paints available within 6 months. That doesn't really make any sense for people. So what I did was I just selected a good corresponding mix of warm and cool tones for general like skin tone use, and then in the future, as it expands, we can create another set. Which is exactly the same for the essential line, right? So like red 0, for example, is a cool tone. At some point in the future, we could release a warm tone red 0. So I wouldn't necessarily say it's like a complete set or not, just because there is no telling when we would actually have like the end all be all mix. You know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't really look at it that way. I would just look at it as this is like the first offering of pre-mixed skin tones, if that makes sense. Hopefully it does. But just going back in here, like I said, shifting around our colors. This is much more the style of painting that we do here all the time, is just sort of move things around a lot at this stage and the next stage before kind of like deciding where we want to sit with our color.
Haley asked a question that is above my pay grade. Maybe you know. Have any retailers in the UK expressed interest in Van paints for stocking back up when they inevitably use them all?
I have no idea. Like we've only had a few retailer pledges, so statistically speaking, I'd probably say no. But unless they're backing right now, like I don't have any of that information. I would assume it would be a minute before we try and get with any retailers for like retail fulfillment after the Kickstarter. So Spencer's going to mute me momentarily so I can hit this with the hair dryer. Okay. Hit that with a little blow dryer. Now I'm going to grab orange 4. And I ripped the cap off. I forgot I did that. I messed this bottle up when I first opened it.
Josh has been lifting a lot lately.
Yeah, and I never fixed it, and now it is just unhappy with me. So I apologize, bottle. And then I'm going to grab orange 1 as well. So 2 warm tones, correct? Yeah. Everything we've been doing so far is warm.
And it's warm in the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah, it's not fun. For as awesome as people describe this place to live, not having AC in buildings is, or like houses and stuff is definitely really weird. Okay. So with the previous color, I'm going to mix in our orange 0 and then the other orange. So this will be a tonal shift away from the color that we just applied. And this is just sort of mixed with whatever water is in my brush. And I'm just going to go in and start building out volumes. I don't care at all about the leaves below. I am just literally going to be painting flat shapes, sketching in the like volumes that I would like to pay attention more to later, if that makes sense. So that is always my secondary step whenever I'm working on stuff. But yeah, if I can figure out where our retail pledges may be from country-wise, we might be able to share that. So obviously it doesn't really help because like those people could back out if something happened, right? Or you know what I mean? So most likely after the campaign we can share that info. But good question. All right, luckily all these shapes are round. So this is pretty much the opposite of what we were doing yesterday, where I was just rounding out all the volumes with the washes. Instead, I'm building it with highlights. This super warm color. Anybody else have any questions in the chat?
People are starting to get very knowledgeable about this Kickstarter. They're doing their research.
They're doing their research.
You know?
Impressive. We love good research. Don't forget too, a lot of these questions can be found in the FAQ section. I know it's easy to miss, but we tried to figure out all of the answers we could ahead of time.
But when they don't ask in chat, they don't give me a reason to speak to you and for us to build our bond.
What?
You know what?
Build our bond?
I don't know.
Guys, did you know actually that it is Spencer's birthday? Can we get happy birthday, Spencer, in the chat, please? Spencer's birthday's today. 1 day older, he's turning gray. His hands are gonna shake and his eyes give out. He won't be able to paint much longer.
I'm just gonna stipple everything.
And many more. Did you like the happy birthday I gave him? I thought that was pretty good.
Thank you, everybody. I appreciate you all. Yeah, and the worse my hands get, the more I just paint with more texture.
Hey, you know what? True European style painting.
I don't like blending anyway.
Blending never bothered you anyway? Little Pixar song action.
Beautiful.
So I like the way this color's drying. Give me a really nice base to work with.
You just got a great painter, bad vocalist.
Great painter, but from who? Who said it? Who said it?
Our boy Monley on YouTube.
Monley, man.
It's okay. Monley, you're speaking.
It's fine.
Vocals were okay. Lyrics were questionable from our buddy Andrew Cannon.
Okay, thank you, Andrew Cannon. You're a real one. All right. Before we started streaming, I was singing T-Pain songs. They sounded great. If Spencer says any otherwise, he's a liar, and we can't be friends. But
I enjoyed the song.
thank you. I just don't want people thinking I don't have it. You know what I mean?
You've got it.
I've got it. All right, I'm gonna go in purely with a mix of the orange and the red brown. A little bit of a different tone here as I continue to build up our structure on the volume.
So this next question, you could either answer it like a paint nerd or normally.
Okay.
What do you think is the coolest paint we've made so far? See, that's funny, right? Because we made...
I would say the coolest paint is probably the cool black because it is the strongest in terms of color theory saturation when you break it down. But outside of that, it's, you know, like I said, on one of these other streams, it's hard to pick your favorite child. So
You have one.
other than red brown, for me obviously is my favorite. But there are quite a few. So I like the coral color that I sort of mixed for red 3. Looks really good. So any chance I can get to use that, I always want to use it.
I'd like to think that I'm my parents' favorite.
Is that how we're answering the question?
Oh, I don't know.
You just wanted to say that?
Yeah, I just like to think.
Okay. Well, hopefully Ian's not listening. You can live another day.
Gotta watch out.
All right, so I think I'm gonna grab actually a green, so I can do an in between the two. I almost dropped him. This is very heavy. This is very heavy boy. Very heavy boy. Let me just go ahead and drop him real quick. All right, I'm gonna grab. We're gonna do our warm green 0. You forgot your water. Spencer's literally leaving me. What do I do? What do I do? I'm all alone in here now. I'm all alone, you guys. Okay, while Spencer is gone, can everyone in the chat please say, yes, I agree with what you said about Spencer. So just say, yeah, that's totally true about Spencer. You know what? You're right. I agree. And that way when he comes back, he'll just have like a sense of dread, like he's missed it. Oh. Hey Spencer, what's
up, dude?
What's going on?
Hey, man. It's a hydration check for everyone. Drink some water.
Anything in the chat?
Oh, what the hell?
What does the chat say?
What's happening?
What do you mean?
I don't know.
What's happening in the chat?
I don't know what's happening in the chat.
Are they saying something?
They're saying things. I don't understand.
What kind of things?
Out of the loop.
Oh, well, we've just been hanging out.
Interesting.
What happened?
Dude, I'm just out here trying to stay hydrated, and people are.
Were they against your hydration?
I agree. I've always thought that about Spencer.
Oh,
Josh, you're totally on point with what you said.
Oh,
Spencer.
Oh, guys, come on, guys! I thought that was our secret. Well, Spencer, my light acknowledges your light.
Oh.
And.
Well, I appreciate that.
We respect you. Definitely including Carl, who said that he respects you as well. So.
Carl told me I was a good hype man.
A good hype man?
Earlier.
Today?
Yeah.
Well.
That was a conversation between me and him. Okay.
Oh, just like on the side.
We were just hanging out.
That's fine. You're allowed to have friends other than me. It's not at work, but like.
Am I allowed to get a tattoo?
Yeah, you're allowed to get tattoos.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that.
Oh my god. Yeah, we're having a good Friday. This is good vibes, high PMA, positive mental attitude.
Yes.
At an all-time high. As we create our crazy contrast, one side to the normal painting, other side. So.
I was about to ask a dumb question.
Please.
So I was thinking, I'm like, do you think he's morphing into spring or morphing into autumn? But that doesn't make sense because spring would go away.
Because 7, 8, 9?
Yeah,
see?
7, 8, 9.
I get it.
Bring it back to math.
Okay. You never know. He could be Benjamin Button of nature.
I love that movie.
But the guy dies.
I can't watch it though because
spoilers. It's problematic.
Well, no, it's just like
he got canceled. Benjamin Button got canceled.
It's hard to watch, but it's a good movie.
Oh, okay. I think I saw it when it came out, and then I've never ever thought about it again, other than just for the memes. All right, we're gonna take. Actually, I'm a liar. I'm gonna take one of my other favorite colors here, red 3. It's like a awesome coral tone. Coral. It's always so hard to break these seals with my glove on. I feel like I don't know how to do it. There we go.
But you did it.
I did do it. I'm proud. I did it.
You did it.
Is the chat still ruining our secrets, or?
They ruined enough secrets.
What's everybody up to?
Yeah, what is everyone up to?
So I mixed our orange number 1 with our sort of corally pink tone here, and this is going to be a nice little jump in saturation for highlights in the volumes. What's up? What's going on? Why are you laughing, dude?
Carl says snitches get stitches. I'm afraid of Josh.
Okay, that's fair. That describes a lot of the relationships I have in the building. So everybody knows you don't divulge. Okay.
Said I should get a tattoo, the paint name that matches my skin color. Casper White.
Casper White. Yeah.
Doesn't leave room.
Doesn't leave room. That's good. Allergic to sun.
Yeah.
It's a big dedication, Spencer. If you're gonna get your body tattooed for this paint line, I mean, does that mean you can only ever use this paint for the rest of your life?
I guess so.
I guess so.
We know what the first tattoo is going to be if I ever got one.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's gonna be Enya lyrics.
Yep. No, it's her.
Oh, just her?
Like angel wings.
Okay, yeah.
I think that look cool.
That way when an alien civilization like uncovers your entombed body at some point, they're like, oh, they had a deity named Enya.
Yeah. Yo. In like 10,000 years? That could be cool.
Could be cool.
Would you want to wake up 10,000 years in the future?
Absolutely. Because I feel like I wouldn't be like really screwed or anything, because 10,000 years in the future, assuming, you know, we haven't just destroyed each other, because we would eventually reach singularity, like maybe they'd be like, oh, this is a dude from the past, we gotta like hit him with a book deal and interview him, and I'd be able to make money like really quickly. And then I would just...
There's be like beings of light though.
In 10,000 years?
I don't know. You said they hit the singularity and then it keeps
yeah, but you don't turn into a beam of light whenever you hit singularity.
Well, no, I'm saying though, like let's say we hit it in like 10 years. And then
10 years? Think about the people you work with right now. 10 years from now, you think we've gotten there? Shout out to our family here at Broken Anvil. All I'm saying is I don't think I'm turning into a light beam. Okay, I'm turning into a heavy beam, if anything.
I'm trying hard.
To turn into a light beam?
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. Like if they had signups, if Apple was like light beam introduction course, you're like, okay.
I'd be interested.
I'd be interested in that. I don't know. You let us know in the chat if you're team light beam or not. Either way.
Team light beam too.
Team light beam.
Yeah, Haley says we'd be the dream of every future archaeologist.
Okay. That's fair, that's fair.
Is it true that archaeology can never... That's kind of morbid, I guess, but...
What?
It'll never go away because people be dying. So you gotta do stuff up.
So, no. Because here's the thing, right? Now, I would say, in a sense, archaeology never really goes away because there is a non-0% chance that archaeologists continue to find things, exhume things, right? Things that we don't know exist, whatever. As technology increases, we figure out that, like, you know, like the Futurama episode, like there actually is an Atlantis, but it's just a Coca-Cola factory from Atlanta, like whatever the case is, right? I'm sure that happens, but I think because we live in the information age, there's nothing existing now that we don't know exists. Does that make sense? Like, moving forward, it's like, oh, it's Detroit, and it's now the ruins of Detroit. Like, it just kind of continues. Yeah, so...
I'm sure that's how the Romans felt, though.
Yeah, but the Romans didn't know germs existed, so I kind of think it's a little bit different.
They had toilets.
Yes, but we don't need to get into that. But either way, maybe alien archaeology, like we go on another planet that we're trying to, you know, exhume resources from, and we're like, is this a house? And then, the government agencies are like, no, it could never be a house. And then we realize, it is a house. Like, there are so many different directions that it could go that... I think it's a good question. That's great. Anyway, if you have questions on the paint, by all means, or we can keep talking about archaeology. I like where we're at today. Our head's in a good space.
That's my fault.
Our head's in a good space. It's a good space.
Paint.
Yes, paint.
I like to paint.
I like colors.
Paint's cool.
Paint's cool. Back to archaeology. So...
Brendan Fraser was an archaeologist, wasn't he?
I would say he was more of a rapscallion. That's how I would describe him in that instance.
How do you turn from a scallion into a rapscallion?
I think it's the difference between an onion and a person.
If you got like bars too, probably.
If you've got a rapscallion, I didn't even, my brain didn't go that way. Man, this is very rare footage that's happening today. We are all over the place. I hope that one didn't go over your heads. That one was a little fast. Throwing fastballs here. If you've got bars, that's a good one.
Are there any weird colors or paints that we would want to try and produce? You think, like something off the?
I would
off the
love,
wall?
yeah, I would love invisible ink colors. So like paint you can't see unless you buy a tertiary tool that we also would sell, and then like you'd be like, guys, check it out, and then like you take a picture of the invisible ink mini, and then people are like, that's just Photoshop. I think that would go well. I think that's clever. What about you, Spencer? What would your weird paint be?
What would my weird paint be?
Yeah,
Let me think.
Pandora blue.
Oh, so nice.
Oh, perfect.
Oh, like, oh, you know what? One day, maybe in 100 years, they'll have like bioluminescent paint, so then I can paint it on the base, and it'll look like it's morphing, shifting.
Yeah, some nanotech.
Oh, that'd be so dope.
All right, I'm gonna let that chill for now. Let's do like birchwood for the bark. I don't know if this is gonna work at all, but let's see what happens. You don't know till you try. Let's see, add a little bit of our orange 0 to that. There we go. I always go for a mid-tone, remember. So sort of white bark. What I'll do is I'll probably use our cool white as we build it back up, not our warm white, just that way I can get more contrast. And I'm just lightly glazing over the zenithal to retain the shadow before I can go back in with an actual shadow color. Spencer, are you having conversations with friends without me?
Yeah.
I don't appreciate that.
Okay, we have a question. Will the thin paint reactivate?
No, nothing reactivates. This is very, very normal acrylic paint. Once it's dry, it's dry.
Carl wants a BAM hat.
A band hat. Well, Carl, I've been requesting this since the first day I started working here over a year ago, and they don't exist. So maybe we can convince people we would like one. But you know I'm a hat man. You would have seen me in the hat.
Me
So
too.
there were a couple hat possible options thrown around, and they definitely were not what I would ever want to wear. So I think we just sort of tabled it at the time. Yeah, I am the hat guy. You know this. I'm actually wearing a brand new hat today for Hat Watch. No one has seen it.
I'm showing it.
No one's seen this one. I haven't even worn this one to work. I switched from the mom hat to the dad hat today.
Yeah, that was back to back.
Just saying.
That's pretty cool.
Just saying.
Did you do it on purpose?
I did do it on purpose because we had that convo. I also felt like a little, like a little bit more stern today. Like I feel like I'm a cool mom, but I'm a stern dad. So that was the difference in attitude, if that makes sense.
We got a hi dad in chat.
Thank you so much. I do have a lot of sons out here. All right. I'm really not even attempting to get good coverage. I'm just it's funny seeing sort of like how I really paint. Cuz so Patreon videos are always built for speed, and this was obviously built for speed because it was contrast speed paint. But when I'm painting, just like everything else you've ever seen, so like all the minis on the Kickstarter page, everything like that, no joke, it's like this. I'm just like, bah, 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 just back and forth really loose, and then I just start refining at the end, so. That's how that goes.
Have we tried the paint with contrast medium?
So I will say, there's been like a lot of people being like, what about medium, right? In general, Very specific questions, very general questions. And what I would say is this paint was intended to be used with water. Just that's all you need no matter what you're doing. That being said, it is just regular acrylic paint. It's just super high quality. So, I'm going to talk to the people.
Talk to the people.
So, pretty much, there's nothing weird about the paint that would make it not work with mediums. So, if you use mediums, if you like lamium medium, whatever it is, you use contrast medium, whatever it is, you use the old defunct Army painter wash medium, their weird interactive thing. Like literally every brand that has some kind of speed paint has their own just host medium that you can add to stuff. This will work just fine. There's nothing about it that won't make it work. The difference is our application is more of a heavy wash rather than a heavy body, which is what contrast paints and different things like that are, unless you're using like the scale instant colors, right? I think like those are just like inks almost, but it'll work fine. So in terms of that, if you like using mediums, by all means rock out. You won't have any weird interactions or anything like that. But we specifically were like, all you need is water, and then we built from that direction. So that is why we have as much pigment as we do, the type of pigment that we do, the quality of the pigment that we do. All of it came down to, if you are painting with just water, which is everything we do here, what can you get out of it? And that's what we did. So that was the whole idea. Hopefully that helps. All right, I'm gonna get our cool white here. So I'm gonna be doing our cool white with our tan, so 2 competing color temperatures. I don't think it'll go green or anything like that, but a lot of people have been asking in different ways as well, like, can we get an exact chemical breakdown, or can we get an exact pigment ratio and things like that. That's really not going to happen, just because there are no patents on paint, and even our manufacturer won't disclose that info, because then they're afraid we could run away and work with somebody else. You know what I mean? So while we would love to disclose stuff like that, that isn't really a possibility. But as always, good questions today. Did you guys like Spencer's Raptor paint job? I know that got unlocked. That's on the Kickstarter page. I think he did a good job on that. Looks really good.
It looked really bad for a while.
You know, that's how it goes. Like, this is going to look really bad until it doesn't. That's kind of part of the game.
My kryptonite is, I think, too small. So I'll start painting individual scales instead of thinking big picture.
Yeah.
And then I go, wow, what am I doing?
Yeah, that's essentially what's going on here, right? Where none of this, all of the painting I'm doing on this side is big picture. Where yesterday, when applying the paint like contrast paints, none of it is big picture, because I'm paying attention to the details that I'm picking out while I'm applying the paint. So it's sort of like the opposite, right? But I do know, I mean, I've seen Spencer fight with it on mini. He's literally painting a Hawaiian shirt right now on a miniature, on the Strange Alfred that is coming out for Patreon. And that is, there's nothing but getting sucked into the small details, because not only is he worried about like the fold on fabric, he's also like, how am I supposed to put a palm tree on it, right? So, but you know, there are many instances where that happens, and then usually it's like, okay, well, just back out, work around whatever it is you're having issues with, go back in, and then you can kind of have an easier time with it. So what about you guys? What are some of your not crutches, what is it? What'd you say? What was the term? You said kryptonite. There you go. I knew it was a k sound.
I got a lot of kryptonite.
I have so much kryptonite. How do I paint? How do I manage anything? After I apply this sort of first base highlight, I'm going to go back in and do shadow. Probably use a cool tone for that somehow. I'll try and figure that out. Maybe a cool purple will probably play nice. Did we get any kryptonites in the chat?
Carl's got the #1 kryptonite of I think every hobbyist.
What has he got?
My kryptonite is believing that I can get all my backlog painted before ordering more minis.
I've just never thought that way. Like, not once. So, I have quite literally not once ever thought that. But
you've just accepted.
Yeah, I'm just like, I'm going to keep buying this. And I think it's because I started this hobby when I was 7. So, like, it has been such a permeating thing for my entire life that, like, why would I ever assume I wouldn't keep buying stuff, I guess, right? Is that... Maybe that's kryptonite? I don't know. I call that a feature, not a bug. I think that's
True
like
acceptance.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I had that on my dating profile. I was like, I'm forever continually buying things that may or may not get finished. So
I buy unfinished pieces of plastic, and then I put them in my closet, and then I buy more.
Yeah, sounds about right. It checks out, as they say. All right, I'm gonna mix in some kind of shadow here as we continue to render out our legs. Obviously, we had a super warm wood last time. Looks good. This time, we're going way lighter. Did I say... I said cool shadow, right? That's what we want?
Yes.
Okay, let's do that.
You said maybe a purple.
Maybe a purple. Cool beans. So, let's do Violet 2 and Cool Black. We're gonna figure out what I can do with that. I probably need more tan. I'm gonna rotate this bad boy here. I know we normally have a palette cam, but like I said yesterday, this guy's so big that I don't know. I just want to be able to keep it in frame. So a lot more
Purple.
Mixing. Do what?
Purple's the color of royalty.
Purple's the color of royalty. I get a lot of facts from Spencer throughout the day.
It's because the pigment was hard to get.
It was very expensive. That is correct. Indigo dye.
I think it was from like mermaids or something.
Yes. So originally, all of the purple dye was from mermaids, and you know.
So you had to trade. So you had to go underwater.
Yeah.
Barter with them.
Barter with the mer people.
They were very specific in what they wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And then they would give you little packets of purple dye that you could use to show that you were.
Are you confusing like a video game? Or
I don't think so.
Okay, fair. That's fair.
Someone told me I'm right.
Who?
Andrew Cannon.
Andrew Cannon, coming through again. #1 best friend in the chat all the time. Thank you so much.
He has researched that.
Yeah, right? It's one of those... Funny you mention that because as an expert on the topic... Well, that's sick. That's good.
Yeah.
I don't think this works, but I'm gonna give it a shot. I don't think this works. But... You know, you gotta crack a few eggs to make an omelet.
He's a lawyer. You can trust him.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine. My lawyer's a nice guy.
Oh yeah, we can make a new purple, Carly. It's called Purple Maid.
What? Purple.
It's like mermaid, purple maid.
Oh, Purple Maid. Yeah, we can make a mini that corresponds to it as well.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
That would be a cool little diorama, like
People trading merfolk for dye.
underwater, so their cheeks are really full because they're like,
Oh, holding their breath.
and they're like trying to hand them something.
And then the mer people are like, look at how dumb humans look when they're underwater. Yeah, I mean, it makes...
Imagine not breathing.
Imagine not breathing? That's kind of crazy. We've really coalesced quite a few topics here today, folks. I always have a good time hanging out with you all in chat and typically with Spencer, but it's been a lot today. It's been a lot. You guys have been really pushing boundaries of art and science.
Andrew wanted to know where this largature came from.
This largature was from Broken Anvil's first foray into miniatures from the Dungeon Delvers campaign originally. So this is a giant polystone monster that will probably never be produced again just because it's in polystone. But we had talked about it previously because we were like, hey, can we use this for our stream? And they were like, we actually have a few of those that we should throw up on the website. So whenever that becomes a thing, people could do that. Or if you were a Dungeon Delvers backer, you have it as an STL. So okay, so now I've made a very dark brown purple here. I'm going to turn into a wash and apply, hopefully, in a way that doesn't look insane. Hopefully. Alright, so I'm definitely doing like a contrast style application of this on top of everything I've done already. And we'll cross our fingers. Yeah, this will be great, actually. Perfect. Perfect color. Exactly what I wanted. It's actually, I think it's a little bit lighter than the purple. Okay, it's fine. We'll just go darker again. It's cool. Sometimes you make mistakes. I know I do all the time when I paint. And I go, I'll fix it. And I fix it. If you guys have any other suggestions about like techniques you would like to see from the paint during the campaign, anything like that, you can also drop those in the chat. Totally cool. There will be a point in time where I go, I don't know what we're supposed to do. So any suggestions, totally acceptable. Like I said with the fluorescence, I think we're going to have to do like a recorded thing, not a live thing, but
I think this guy's a carnivore.
This guy's a carnivore?
I don't know.
A carnivore? Could be.
He eats plants.
I think he just eats.
Just
He's nom herbivorous.
Sure.
Did you just sure me?
Sure.
Okay, dude. We don't do that here. Now you've crossed a line because I know you're toning me out. I don't like that. I don't like getting toned out by Spencer. Sure, dude. With everything I have to listen to you about, I mean, come on, man.
I taught you a lot of cool things today.
Today?
Yeah.
Every day. Try every day.
Yeah.
Every day with you is like being in a remedial English class.
We're learning and relearning.
Learning, relearning, changing things because you might be wrong, but don't want to be wrong learning. It's perfect.
Carl says.
I'll fight you, Carl.
This is suggestion. Yeah, he said he'll fight you first. No, I'm just kidding. Carl.
Okay.
I'd protect you. You've talked about the paints being mixed to be used as is, so maybe you could do 5 quick things like stone, wood, using no mixed paints. That was his suggestion.
What? You just mean straight out of the bottle? Yeah, that's easy.
Yeah,
so,
straight out the bottle.
yeah, and that was, I don't know if I really talked about it enough, but I'm going to let this kind of chill. You can see all the color I shifted there, though, just working back and forth. It's all wet and weird looking. So, on the Kickstarter page itself, you're wanting to hit, I was about to say, you're wanting to hit that button. I saw him on the trigger. So everything on the Kickstarter page except for, I think, no, all of them. I didn't do any like custom mixing. So specifically because I knew they were for the Kickstarter, they're all painted directly out of the bottle. So
he meant without mixing colors. I think he meant like just true applicate, like without.
Like on the palette?
Yes, I think just out of the bottle.
Yes.
Mixed down with water, obviously. sleeve it just.
Yeah, we can do that. And so, and that was one of the things I wanted to make sure that we did on the Kickstarter page. So, looking at the paint jobs that are on there, those are directly out of the bottle, meaning I'm not mixing like this one and this one to make a different color to apply to those minis. It's just literally, oh, this looks like it would look good on top. Like the greens on the Space Marine, all of that are just literally those colors and painted directly. So that way you can get a good idea about how you can work with the palette if you're not into mixing. Today we're obviously mixing. Yesterday we weren't really mixing, but yeah, we can do that as well where we figure out some textures. We would have to probably we wouldn't be able to do it on like Monday or something because we'll have to figure out like if we need to print some minis here or have them made extra in COCast for us to be able to use, right? But if I can get some like good material examples, then I think we can probably do a demonstration like that. So if you want to mute me for a second, Spencer, I'm going to blast away.
Welcome back.
Wow. Cool. Hit me with that top down. Boom. All right, so you can see what I did there. We added a bunch of color, a bunch of shift into the lights, the darks, shadows, yada yada, etc., etc. I'm gonna start building back up. Woohoo! I'm gonna get a different palette sheet. This one is definitely yoinked to the max.
Then
it got tuned up.
We have maybe a fire tutorial and a skin tutorial. People are asking for it.
Fire and skin. Guys, fire's easy. Do we need to do that? Really? Really? Yeah, we can do that. That's not a big deal. Skin's cool. We depending on how much funding we get, there may be a really in-depth skin tutorial that may arrive sooner than later for you using the skin pack. But yeah, we can kind of show outside of the skin pack how we've been mixing skin. We've got some recipes that we've gotten used to here just out of like directly out of bottle, so that is doable for us.
How to paint a ribbonstone deposit.
How to paint a ribbonstone deposit? Well, we can definitely do that with our fluorescent pink. That color is crazy, crazy bright. What you would do is you paint that deposit bright white, and then you'd hit some shadow with a little bit of purple, and then boom, glaze the fluorescent pink on top, and it is going to be so bright, if you turn the lights off, you can see it in the dark. So that is how our fluorescents rock and roll.
You gotta paint with it using sunglasses.
You really do. It's kind of funny. People will be like, that hurts my eyes. Like, there have been a few times I apply it in really large sections on top of pure white, and everybody's just like, what is going on? It makes all the other paint disappear because it's just so vibrant. So it's fun stuff. Now I'm just looking for grooves in between the wood to start building back up the tan directly. This is sort of the refining stage where I just start really paying attention to my brushwork, where I'm placing it intentionally, things like that. Difference in value, shape, volume. So, I mean, we still got decent base coating done in about an hour. Of course, we painted the entire other half in an hour yesterday, but that's just a difference in technique, clearly. Not user error. Maybe it is. I mean, I haven't had enough caffeine today. I'm really dipping and rolling so far today, but Normally we don't have jam sessions before we go live, and we were in here jamming. So
Bouncing off the walls.
we were bouncing off of the walls for sure. But thanks for hanging out with us today. All the classics: Haley, Carl, Alex, right? Alex Cannon. Am I saying? Is that right? Alex, who is it? Alex Cannon? I already feel. Andrew.
Cannon.
Sorry, you know we're new friends, but we're best friends. Scrumbly Dumper. Sorry, Scrumbly Dumpus that was here hanging.
That's close.
All the day ones.
The legendary Carl.
The legendary Carl. As many A's as you want to type, Carl. But you can see I'm just rendering it out now. It's starting to look really cool. I actually like the color combo that's going on. And the final highlight would be that cool tone white mixed in with the tan to kind of shift it away from the warm tones that's going on. We have cool tone shadow. Everything else is really warm around it, and then it would go cool tone in the highlight. Easy color temp change. If anybody has any last minute questions as well, now is the time. Sounds like Spencer's having
I have friends too.
secret correspondence. I don't know. I'm a very jealous streamer. Okay, I know I'm the talent. All right, but
I'm like the gatekeeper of information.
I know I don't like it. I don't want you to Ellen DeGeneres me. I just feel like I'm just not, you know, not being included.
Your paint job looks nice.
Who?
Yours. Should be proud of yourself.
You said that?
Yeah.
Well, that doesn't count. I want other people to say it.
Oh, so you don't care what I think?
I don't care what you think.
Oh, well.
We'll just go mask off today.
Hey, you know what? Sure. Sure.
You said sure?
Sure.
Okay, alright. Okay. Well, obviously, now that Spencer has such a bad attitude at the end of the stream, we'll just try and have positive mental energy as we move into the weekend. How is there a gold fleck on his foot?
I have no clue.
How's that even possible? I wonder if it was on the desk. Yeah, that was very strange because I did kind of accidentally drop him onto the desk earlier, and it probably chipped dried paint off the desk.
We got a shots fired comment
From who?
from our buddy Lord of the Flies. He's been asking a lot of good questions these past couple of days. And he said Josh's guest Spencer is the host.
Okay. All right, that's fine.
And Haley also shots fired.
No, okay, look, guys, you can't turn against me. We all had to talk about Spencer, and you agreed while he was gone. So you can't turn this against me. You're all accomplices. If I go down, we all go down, okay? This is the pact we made. It is what it is. You cannot turn on me now. This ship has sailed. There are no mutinies. Period. That's it, okay?
Mutiny?
I don't appreciate. I do like what's happening on the leg, though.
I do too. I was being genuine. I liked it.
Oh, you were?
Yeah, this time.
I gotta do this time?
What?
Oh no! So like when you told me that like my hair looked good that one day, then I kept catching you laughing. Like was that not? Okay.
I'm sorry, bro.
You're sorry. Oh my gosh.
I care about you.
Okay. Wait, you care? What? All right. I don't know what the vibe is today.
For now.
For now, okay.
Haley says it's a hate-tocracy.
A hate-tocracy, Haley. That's not cool, man. Like. All right. Well.
Is the amount of hats that determines who is the boss, Carl asks.
Yeah, and that's why I'm in charge. Period. That's why like business owners that are like trying to complain about their life but like not really being honest about it, they're like, I gotta wear a lot of hats. gotta wear a lot of hats, so I got too many hats. I just own hats, so that way, people see them. I don't have to like tell people about it.
Oh, excuse me. It wasn't a hate talkersy. It was a hat talkersy.
It was a hat talkersy. See, okay, so then once again, I win because Spencer has one hat. He even bought me a hat, so he increased my hatocracy.
That's true.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you know, some days it's a Monday, some days it's a Friday, and today's that day. And that's where we're at. So, let's do a little twist and shouting here. So, again, yesterday, boom, in the course of an hour, we did all of this work with contrast application. I threw a little varnish on it at the end. That way it wouldn't blast all over the place with these super bright lights, and you can see a little bit more of the detail. I think it looks pretty cool, other than the fact that I spilled brown paint all over it today right there.
On purpose.
On purpose! I did it on purpose, of course. This side today, we did more traditional painting, so base coating, everything like that. Didn't really get much accomplished other than a nice looking thigh right there that I started rendering out a little bit. But it just gave you an idea of things, I don't know, whatever. It's how I normally paint. So, but we will figure out what we can do moving forward on our other streams, everything like that. Thanks so much, of course, for all of the support on the Kickstarter. A new Patreon video went live this morning right as we went live. So if you are a patron, check that out, okay? We sculpted a wooden plank base. You know, that's pretty much it. As always, I hope you guys have an awesome rest of your day. I hope you have a nice, restful weekend. Everything goes your way. You find a $50 bill in your pocket this time, and we'll catch you next time. Adios.